Have you recently inherited a property that you're thinking about selling, or maybe you have to sell? Today we're going to talk about some of the steps you might have to take to sell that property. I'm SandiWarner with Warner Realty Group. A lot of times we receive or we inherit a property from a parent or a relative, and while it's a pretty great thing to inherit such a large investment property, it can be an emotional challenge and it can be a little bit of a legal challenge to navigate your way to selling that property. The first thing you want to do is you want to determine, are you the legal heir? Do you have the right to sell the property? If you're a spouse and your spouse has passed, you most likely, but not definitely, you most likely in Rhode Island and Massachusetts owned it as joint tenants with rights of survivorship. If that's the case, then when your spouse passed, you inherited that property automatically. You just have to go probably to your local city. You can talk to your property recording office or check with your attorney and just file something, probably a copy of the death certificate, and that will show that you own the property, meaning you can then do as you like with it, including selling it. If you inherited a property through a will, you will have to go through probate first, and that can take about 6 months, sometimes even longer. Right now, when I'm filming this, we're in the middle of COVID, so probate is taking slightly longer. And what probate does is probate means that you go in front of a judge, a probate judge, and they're just looking to make sure that the will is valid, that the will is being followed, and that there's this independent third party that's reviewing everything to make sure that the desires and the wishes of the deceased person are being met. If you inherit, for example, it's a parent, we just helped someone go through this. If you had a parent that passed without a will, it doesn't automatically go to the children. It might. If there is no will, it passes through the intestacy laws, which means intestate means somebody died and there wasn't a will. That has to go to probate. Somebody has to be named the executor, and the actual heirs have to be determined. There are periods of advertising that go through, like it has to be posted in the newspaper that so-and-so has passed, so that any heirs maybe that are not known to you can make themselves known. This all ties back to the idea that property ownership is a really basic right in our society. It's a big part of our ideas of who we are and who we are as a people, and how we handle our economy and how we do our wealth building. So it's critical that even when someone has passed, that their property is handed off correctly. So don't get frustrated if you think you've inherited something and you've got attorneys saying, hey, we have to go through probate. Yes, you might be the only child of that person that passed, but if there's no will, you got to do probate. So you get through all of this and you decide you want to sell the property. The next thing you got to figure out is, what is your basis in this property? And basis just means, what is the value of the property to you? And why do we have to know that? We have to know that because Uncle Sam is going to tax anything called a gain. And the gain is the difference between the basis and what you sell it for. So a common scenario would be your mom and dad bought the property in 1976 for $25,000. Don't we wish? And you're getting it in 2020 or 21, and now it's worth $550,000. If you inherited it, say in 2020, hopefully you got it appraised at that time, or you can get it appraised now. Your basis as the heir, the one who inherited the property, or whoever, if it's a group, your basis is actually what it's worth when you inherited it. So if it's worth $500,000 today, and you sell it for $500,000, there's no gain, so there's no tax. But maybe you inherited it 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and it's taken you and your siblings a while to really wrap your head around the loss of your parent, and you've held on to the property for 2 or 3 years. It's what it was worth when you first inherited it 3 years ago. And then if you sell it for more, particularly right now where we just saw another 9.3% gain in the market in 1 year, it's probably worth more now. When you go to sell it, one of the big differences that we see, normally in Rhode Island, if we sell a property, we have to fill out what's called a seller's disclosure. And that's usually if you've lived in the house and you're basically saying, hey, these are the quirks to the house. These are the things I think it needs. I know that my plumber came in and told me I'm going to need a new heating system in 3 years. You disclose these items. If you never lived in the house and it was your mom's house and she passed away and you never moved into it, we would at that point identify the property on the listing agreement and on the MLS as an estate sale. And that would indicate to other to buying agents to notify their clients that you never lived in the house, you're not going to disclose anything because you don't know anything, that it's completely up to the buyer to do their own due diligence. So those are a couple little factors that go into selling an inherited property. We are very happy to walk you through this entire process. We can help connect you with local attorneys that specialize in this, or you can look them up on Google and just say, probate attorneys. There are people who are really, really good at this. Love to answer any questions that you have. You can call us at 401-236-8685. Hope you have a great day and look forward to talking to you soon. Bye.